What is up, guys? It is the Citrus Panda here today, and today I'm coming at you with another episode of our Adventure Quest Let's Play. I believe we are on episode 5 of the Redux on our new character. In last episode, we were level 37, I believe, maybe level 36, I kind of forget. But since then, we've gotten a little bit higher in level. We are now level 46, we've done some farming, we've done some improvements. We have our max stat gains that we can get as well. So we have 100 strength, 100 dex, 30 charisma. Other than that, not too much other new stuff going on. As far as the paladin progress of getting, we got 10 fighter, so that's one thing done. And then we were working on the knight class, and I want to actually give it another go because that's what we're going to start the episode with. Although I have kind of a big plan for this episode, not really big, but we do have a plan. I want to get an armor this episode. I do want to try this one more time. The knight training, I think I'm level 4 right now. And basically, whenever you're a knight, you have to get 5 levels as a knight. And then you pick the kingdom that you want to join. The problem is that I am level 4. Okay, there we go. Alright, I was confused there for a second. But yeah, you have to use the knight armor in these quests. So it gives you the option to buy it really quick at the beginning there. At the end of the day, one of the things that I have run into, unfortunately, in this quest is that we have to fight salamanders, and they are incredibly powerful. So number one, you're forced into using this armor, which is kind of unfortunate because I would very much prefer to use a different armor than this. But that's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not the worst thing to use this armor. It's not the worst armor in the world. But the biggest problem is that if we get unlucky, I don't even know if it's unlucky or if if we roll right with the monsters, maybe we could actually do this. But the last time that I was doing this, I got a little bit into the quest and then I was interrupted rudely by a big old salamander. And these guys aren't super high level, the salamanders, but they are incredibly powerful. They have 1800 HP, so they're tanky as all get out. And then, if they breathe, they use their breath attack, they breathe fire at you. I swear, man, that does, even with the defensive lean and, 65%, that was doing, 120% easy to my character, which is kind of insane. It's just a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage that I am not capable of dealing with at the moment. Even with HP potions, I think it would be possible, maybe, especially maybe if I had a guest and, really gave it my all. Unfortunately, you can have bad luck, I think, and run into multiple salamanders. And the problem with that is that if I was able, I think there's 4 or 5 battles I have to do. Ooh, 110. That was a lucky hit, though, so normally I'm not going to take that much damage. I could probably take on one salamander if it really came down to it. But the problem is that if we get one salamander, beat him barely scraping by, and then we get the salamander again, it's pretty much lights out. We can't beat 2 in a row, not at our current power level. And I'm not really sure what to do about it too much because we have to use this armor in this quest. If you switch armors, you can't do any damage to the monsters. It's really weird, but that's just how it works. Anyway, so I actually know which ways to go here. We're going to rest really quick just in case. It should help if we run into one of these dreaded salamanders. We got lucky this time, though. We got a fire mantic instead. So basically, I am perfectly capable of beating this quest, but it's going to require that we get a lot of good RNG. We're just going to give this one go. If we get enough good luck, then we might get the knight level 5, which is great. It's a good way to start the episode. If we run into a salamander, unfortunately, we're probably going to be meeting an early grave. But with our fairy godmother and with our little bit higher charisma than we've had, I think maybe, just maybe, we can actually get through this. And because I actually know which directions to go, I looked up a thing online to know exactly. I think it's right, diagonal, something. As long as I'm following that specific guide, I should be able to rest after every single battle. And if I pull it off, it'll be hype. It'll be hype, I will say. Then we can actually be level 5. Then we pick the kingdom we want to join. Now, because of the fact that we got really lucky, well, not really lucky, but Adventure Quest updated the sub-races to have an armor here. What's really cool is that we basically have, with the werewolf transformation, we have a built-in earth armor that's also operating as a pretty damn good light armor as well, which means that best case scenario, if we want to, we could use it as both of those. Worst case scenario, we could just use it as Earth, and it gives us an extra armor slot. Because we want an armor for every single element, but we have one that's not even counting towards our 8 armor slots, so we automatically can have 1 armor slot. But in this case, we can probably have 2, honestly. So the Knight armors are different depending on the class that you have. Basically, you pick a kingdom, and depending on the kingdom you pick, you get like slightly different abilities. And so I'm not sure which one I'm going to pick yet, but like I'm going to pick the one that seems like it has the best abilities. Not necessarily like, I know like there's one that's like a darkness armor, but I'm not really going to pick it as my elemental armor, if that makes sense. Preferably, most of my armors are going to have an offensive lean, not a defensive lean. And unfortunately, the Knight armor does have a defensive lean, which I'm not super hyped about, but it's like, it's kind of whatever. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But basically, whatever armor I pick, I was thinking about picking the fire one, which is actually like, you're basically like a demon knight, which is like kind of betraying the knight order, which is kind of funny, an interesting idea. To do. It sounds kind of funny to me because like this guy's training you and like probably really excited about what knight order are you gonna join, and then it's like, yeah, I'm gonna join the demon knights, the guys that murder you. That would be kind of a slap in the face, but in a kind of a funny way. And then the other one that I was maybe gonna pick was the Granamore Knight, which is the darkness armor. So we already have a fire and a darkness armor that are both pretty good. So, and they're both offensive leaning, fortunately. So the Knight armor would just kind of be like if we want to use their special abilities every now and then. And I'm pretty sure that the Granamore Knight, the darkness one that you can pick, they do have like a passive built in that can sometimes make your enemy afraid, which sounds pretty good to me. Sounds pretty strong. I was just checking to make sure we're recording. I've done that before. It wouldn't be the first time I was sitting around recording nothing. But anyway, so that's pretty cool. And then the Knight's armor, the Demon Knight armor, like the fire one, the one that I'm leaning towards picking the most, actually has like a built-in burn mechanic, which also seems really good, just as far as damage goes, because while you might not be getting a ton of damage offensively or whatever, like because it's not an offensive leaning armor, you at least have that option of getting some extra burn damage. The Knight armor does have this really cool ability. You've seen me use it a couple times, called Blade of Retribution or whatever. Basically, you skip your turn, and then the next turn, you do a bunch of damage. It's pretty good, especially for an armor that's not offensive at all, really. Okay, so I looked at it again. So we're supposed to go up diagonal, and then the next 2 things are down diagonal. And oh my god, okay, we got unlucky, boys. Not only did we get unlucky, but the monsters actually increased in level since I came here last time. I guess at level 46 they probably increase, which means that the salamander is no longer just 1800 HP. It is even bigger. It is even harder to take down than it already was. Thankfully, they do have 180% to ice, and I think that if we get lucky enough, like I was saying, I do think it's possible. It's possible. It's not super possible, but that we can actually take this guy on. So, especially if we hit some of these Blades of Retribution. Oh, man, that's not... You hate to see it. You hate to see the miss. Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. He almost did 200%. Keep in mind that, like, it's not like this is a great fire armor, but it's not like it's a terrible fire armor either. Alright, 284, that's nice. I wonder if it's even worth using that, though, because it does kind of double up on the fact that he can get really lucky with some of his attacks and just absolutely destroy me. So I'm thinking it might not even be worth it using that. Although it might be. It might very well be. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna happen, honestly. I'm gonna try to woo, that's 165, man. Yeah, I don't think this is happening. This was pretty much the problem that I was talking about, and I was getting lucky there though. The first 3 fights we actually got good RNG. The biggest problem is that basically there's like a pool of monsters that you can randomly get. And in theory, you could get Salamander multiple times in a row, which is just kind of insane. We're not even going to waste potions. We could. The problem is, like, so let's use a potion here, right? It's 140 HP. We got good healing on that. Normally, you'd get less HP. But then, like, we have one of those fire breaths that do 168. So the potions are definitely not going to save us, unfortunately. So yeah, we'll set sail on this for now. We'll come back in the future. It is unfortunate because it's just like it's like so random that the salamanders are so strong. It's really unfortunate because they'll only really get harder. But I'm sure that like once we get better but that's the thing, actually not better armor, better stats, because we are forced to use the knight armor. Anyway, so that was the failure for today. I thought maybe I was getting kind of hyped up there for a second. I was like, holy shit, we might actually get this one. But anyway, what I'm going to do this episode is I'm going to quest for the Kindred set. I looked up what level the Kindred set was, and it looked like to me it was actually 45. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, I actually paused the video temporarily there because I wanted to make sure that I was doing it in the right area. So it looks like we have 8 elements right here, and essentially what I believe, if I remember correctly, we basically just have to fight a couple... Oh god, okay, we actually got lucky. See, dude, I don't know why the salamanders on those ones were so powerful, because like look at this guy. He's got like literally less than half of the HP. Obviously he's a lower level, but like the salamanders in that quest line are just, they are so strong. It's insane. But basically, if I remember correctly, we have to do a couple battles. I'm not sure how many battles in each of these locations, for each element. And then we pretty much get the armor set. I'm not sure, though. So it is a little bit of a long-winded type of quest. But it's exactly what I want, because it is a good armor. The Kindred set, if you don't know what it is, it's a water set that does have an offensive lean. So it'll actually give us a good water set, which we currently don't really have. I believe we just have like the one from the shop, so not anything impressive. But the main thing that's really good about it is not only that it's an offensive leading armor, but it has 2 skills on it. And one of them is called Focus, and then the other one is like called Kindred... I don't know what it's called, but it basically unleashes the focus that you've built up. And so Focus consumes your turn and gives you some stacks, and the stacks kind of show up below your character or whatever, and it'll say how many you have. So normally I think from a charge you get about 30 or 40, and then you can charge up a ton of them, basically as many as you want. I'm sure there's a cap at some point. But then your second ability on the armor is that you can release up to 200 at a time. So basically you can charge up 200 stacks, and then you can release them in that ability, and you do an insane amount of damage. I'm not sure what the multiplier is on it, but like you can do crazy damage, especially on characters that have a lot of luck. If you get a lucky strike with that Kindred attack, it's probably some of the highest damage you can get in the entire game. So yeah, it's pretty insane. Now, we don't really have any luck, but even without the luck, the focus and using that ability with the offensive lean the armor has, it's really crazy. It's going to be a good armor, not to mention the fact that it's just a good water set. So overall, it'll be definitely worth getting. One of the other cool things about it, which I guess you could it's sort of not really an exploit, but something you can do, I think it's like you could go to the training guy, where you train your stats, and you go to the one guy that's just like the training dummy. You could just focus a bunch of times, build up a lot of focus, which I believe stays in between fights. I could be wrong, but I believe it stays in between fights. And then just stack it up a ton, and then go into a battle with like tons of stacks, and then just use your special ability over and over again. I believe that used to be an idea that you could do, or a strategy you could do. It might not be possible anymore, so I have no idea. I'm just assuming it's possible, which can actually help you basically cheese through a lot of fights that you probably shouldn't be able to do. Mostly because, like, I think the Kindred set in general is kind of designed around the fact that, like, you are skipping your turn, but you're kind of trading it off for power later on. Whereas in that situation, you're basically just, like, kind of doing a workaround, to be honest. But it seems pretty cool to me. Also, one of the things we actually did to get a lot of XP, we got like a level, I think, while we were doing the night quest, because there were a lot of, we like messed up on the night quest a lot. Some of the quests are kind of weird. Like the one is you have to stay above a certain percent of HP. Oh, we have a roll as well. At least it's a strength roll. Okay, so we started with fire. Let's just work our way around the wheel. So it's gonna be the easiest way to do it, I think, is just work our way around like that. But yeah, one of the night things was kind of weird. I didn't really understand it at first because I wasn't reading the text. But yeah, you have to like stay above a certain amount of HP, and I was not doing that, so we kind of got messed up completely. But you know, you live and you learn. But it's really not that hard. None of the night quests are particularly difficult, except the one that I was just showing you guys at the beginning of the video. But anyway, Yeah, this guy's a pretty simple guy. A lot of the monsters they're actually giving me have a lot of endurance, which is kind of annoying in some ways. Ooh, that's a big hit. That's a really big hit. Yeah, I got this water weapon. It's actually from the ranged shop, so it's considered a ranged weapon. But that's the cool thing about the hybrid type build I'm going for here. We have strength and dex, so realistically, ranged is just as viable as strength in most situations. And what will be kind of cool about that is that monsters do have different defenses. Like, you know, they're 27, 27, 27 here for melee, ranged, and magic. Although some monsters might take way more damage than from a ranged weapon, so it can be an interesting idea, you know, for a boss or something, or a fight I'm like having a lot of trouble with. I could, in theory, switch out weapons and do more damage. Taking a drink of water there. Gotta stay hydrated. Hydrate or dehydrate, you know. I'm using a water weapon. Gotta get some water in my gullet in real life as well. There's the Wolverine. Wind is probably gonna be the best. Oh yeah, one thing I didn't show you guys yet. We got those 2 golden boxes for becoming a guardian or whatever. And I don't really know how they work, but I'm pretty sure you just kind of open them and you can get random. It's like a random chance of getting like a certain shop. The shop that I got gave me this, it's like a lightsaber. It looks like something on a mech quest. It can change the magic damage, but it can also be a melee weapon, which is what we use it for. It's a level 0 weapon, so it scales to your level. It's not insane stat-wise. Like, if you just saw it, what was it? It was 9 to 26, so like, it's not terrible, but it's not great. So we could replace it at some point, but I do like it a lot. I do like the way it looks a lot. I don't know about you guys, but it does look pretty cool. It looks unique for Adventure Quest because I you know, it's like a weird sci-fi looking weapon. Although there are a lot of just weird weapons in this game, so not necessarily the most unique, but I'm hoping that a lot of these rolls that we get actually end up being for strength, but I don't know. We might get unlucky and get one that's like, oh, this endurance. Yeah, that's not great. I don't even know if we can defy that. Can we? We could have defied that if we had full SP, but unfortunately we're using the werewolf form, which means that we won't really be able to defy any rolls. But the werewolf form does help us get through the battles a lot quicker because of its 4-hit attack. Pretty strong pet, honestly. Although we're getting healed every 2 rounds, so I think what would be a good idea is actually throwing on an actual pet, maybe the truffles, but they're still the level 10 truffles, but they're still so good, man. Even though it's a level 10 pet, like these things still do a lot of damage. At level 50, I believe we can get a new truffle, so that would actually be really good. Level 50 does give us a lot of breakpoints for different things. Obviously, new weapons and armor, but like some new pets and some other cool stuff as well. So, one of the big things about level 50 actually is that one of the ways that I've gotten a lot of XP has been from Drakath. I'm sure a lot of people already know about. It's a very well-known method of leveling up in this game, but basically, you just, like, we actually did it in one of the episodes prior. It was probably last episode, or maybe the episode before. But Drakath at a low level does give a ton of XP. But I think the big XP really comes in whenever you get to level 50. Because Drakath, instead of being level 65, is what I believe he is at right now. He gives, like, 25 or 2600 XP. He turns into a level 100 once you're level 50, and he gives way more XP, way better XP. It gets pretty insane, honestly. Like it's basically like the best way to level up in the game. It involves a lot of clicking because you have to go through all the dialogue, but thankfully after you beat Drakath, you can just close the game out. That's the quickest way to do it. But yeah, it's definitely worth a pickup. I would 100% recommend, or not worth a pickup, but worth a try. If you're that Sizzler method that I showed last episode is insane, but at a certain level, the Sizzlers level up from the level 15 ones, and they don't give XP anymore, really. Like, they give, like, literally no XP. I don't really know game design-wise why that was. It was interesting. It's almost like an Easter egg they put in there that, like, the level 15 Sizzlers give, like, 3,000 XP, and then the ones, whenever they level up to level 35 ones, they give, like, virtually none. Okay, so we have fire, we have earth. It's interesting because it doesn't actually give you any specific indication that you've done these. So I guess I'm just going to keep working my way around in a circle so I won't forget. Let me throw on my Knight Shield, and let me see here, and the Bad Axe. There we go. One thing to keep in mind here is that this probably is going to take a while as far as a quest goes, so we might kind of pause here and there and kind of come back in and out of the commentary, because I don't want to make the video like an hour long, but I'm not really against it really though. We'll show most of it as much as we can on camera. Let me just check where we are time-wise. Yeah, we're about like at 20 minutes, so we'll definitely do some pausing, because we're only like, this is the third one, and if we fail rolls, we're going to have to double up on the battles as well, so that is definitely something to think about. Could be in this one for the long haul, boys. Could be in it for the long haul. Zombizard. Thankfully, none of the monsters here really seem that difficult, especially because it's not really like an endurance run or anything. Like, we pretty much get to heal. Well, we do get to heal after every 2 battles. Even if we do fail the roll, doesn't really matter. Doesn't really seem like to me, because we always get back, you know. An interesting thing to note is that I think every zombie in the game has an initiative penalty, so you pretty much always go first against zombies, which is kind of funny. It's very funny, actually. Holy shit, that guy hit hard. Okay. Man, that guy was not messing around, that's for sure. I'm surprised he has luck, too. He has, like, quite a bit of luck, 65. But, let me actually pause the video here, because, oh my god, okay, we're gonna heal here real quick before I pause the video. Jesus Christ, this guy's kind of crazy. Yeah, we're gonna pause the video, and I'm gonna come back probably whenever I'm on like the last or second to last one, because we're gonna be in this for the long haul. We gotta collect a lot of these element things to get this armor. It is a mastercraft set, so like some of the best armor for that element in the game, from my understanding. So yeah, it is going to be a little bit hard to get, but we'll be back. Alright, we have returned. We collected all of the essences, actually, because there's more to the quest than just that. It wasn't just collecting the essences, so yeah, we also, big tip, honestly, I ended up switching off of the werewolf form that was taking SP, because having SP, very, very useful. I failed some of the rolls for that thing so many times. In the darkness one, dude, I swear, I failed that I think 4 or 5 times. I just stopped wearing the werewolf thing, and I failed it again, but I was able to actually just, like, defy it with the SP. Because if you have a full amount of SP and you fail a roll, you can buff it up quite a bit. It's not like you're gonna beat every single roll, but like if you have a full SP bar and you rolled at least a decent number, I would say normally you're good to go. Like, you're not gonna have any problems. Now we have to beat this guy, Ayatsu. That's actually the Kindred set right there. That's the set that we're actually trying to get. So we'll have to beat this guy up. I don't think this is the last boss here. I think, if I remember correctly, we actually fight this guy and then he joins us as a guest. And then from there, we might actually win. We are probably going to switch to werewolf here real quick just to try to get some damage on this guy, because we definitely need to do some damage. Although this guy does have, the werewolf form does have low water resistance, but we do have the shield, and I don't think he's doing a crazy amount of damage anyway. And I think the amount of damage that we're doing is probably a good trade-off. We might also switch back to the Fairy Godmother so we can get some healing as well. That's always a good idea. 83. Ooh, boy. Alright, that's a lot of damage. Partly because we also have the offensive lean as well, so it's kind of going both ways there. Yeah, we could maybe switch back. That might be a good idea. Good lord, we're taking big damage. But as long as, yeah, we'll probably finish him off next turn, so that it should be all good. As long as we heal after this fight, that would be great if REDUX entertain. Yep, we do heal. Okay, so that's good. That is always good. And let's, okay, follow me, my new friend. I will follow you. I will definitely follow you. Hey, actually, we actually fought one of these things in the just a couple of seconds ago, actually, off camera, but it is light, so we actually can just keep the werewolf form on. It's actually really good. It looks like he doesn't actually join you. He just says he's gonna join you, and it doesn't seem like he actually helps you at all. So yeah, I guess that was just a lie. He's not helping shit, actually. He's just like, yeah, bro, Come on, follow me. Also, you're going to have to do all the fighting. I'm not going to help you at all, my dude. It's kind of funny, though, honestly. These shouldn't really be too hard of battles. I'm not sure if he's going to assist us on the boss fight because I'm assuming there's going to be a couple normal, I don't know, like 2 or 3 maybe normal fights, and then we'll probably fight the boss to get the armor. And then I'll display the armor and stuff, show you guys what it is, just in case you guys are interested or whatever. I would definitely recommend the armor, especially if you're an offensive type character. If you're more of like a tank or something, it might not be very good. But if you're looking for an offensive armor that has good water resistance and has really unique skills, definitely go for this set. It's definitely a cool set. One of my favorite Mastercraft sets, and a lot of the Mastercraft sets are really cool. I think they did a good job at designing most of them. Probably switch to the Bad Axe here, and then we should be good. Wait, is this Darkness? Oh yeah, for some reason I wasn't thinking, and I was thinking he was gonna attack with another thing. We're probably actually gonna switch off of the werewolf form here, and the reason for that is the werewolf form actually does take quite a bit of SP per turn to use, and we got some SP back there actually because we ended up not using that, not using the werewolf. But we will use that for the boss fight, but we want to try to build up some SP in the meantime so that we can actually use the correct form in the last fight. Wow, this guy does a lot of damage sometimes. I actually got killed by one of these guys in the element phase of this. One really important thing to note is that I don't know if it counts if you log out, but I actually died during collecting those essences in that first part. I got like 2 or 3 of them, and then I ended up dying on accident. If you do end up dying, you can just go back and just start from where you left off, and you're good. So, like, I didn't have to go back and redo those 3. If you log out, it might be different. But, like, yeah, don't be like alarmed if you end up dying after like 5 of the elements that you collected. You're good to go. Like, you're still fine. Okay, so this guy has Darkness, and he's weak to Ice and Fire. We're definitely using our Fire weapon. Definitely have a better fire weapon than an ice weapon. Not only does this thing have insane accuracy, but it's as far as like a max hit, it's one of our better weapons. But the fact that it has like a really accurate hit rate is honestly one of my favorite things about it. Obviously, we can still miss, but it's just not super common that we're gonna miss with this weapon. Also has a pretty decent special, because some weapons you hit the special and like you do a lot less damage than normal, but not this one. This one's pretty solid. Yeah, I guess my boy didn't join us again. I was really assuming that Ayatsu would actually join us this time, but seems like not. Shouldn't really be a big deal. This boss doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. He doesn't seem that strong, to be honest. We'll definitely be able to take him on pretty easily. And the Fairy Godmother is doing a lot of work healing us up a little bit. And one of the things about like healing pets and why they're actually kind of so good, like that was 6, 5, and 6. So like immediately right there, that would be like 17 health. And off the top, that doesn't seem that good, but like since this battle probably going on for a good, I don't know, like it's 10 plus turns, right? And even if it was 10 turns, ooh, he turned into lights. Okay, did the old switcheroo on us there. That's unfortunate. Actually, it is kind of fortunate because we can use the werewolf form with a lot of light resistance. But yeah, over time it really adds up all that healing. You know, at the end of the day, it's keeping you alive for way more turns than you would if you weren't getting healed by her. So yeah. Does his resistances change? Oh, okay, no. Not at all, actually. His light and darkness resistances weren't even that crazy to begin with. Like his defense is good, but, you know, hitting them with either of those elements is not very effective, I should say. Anyway, the way that he switched to light there actually helped us out quite a bit because it helps us with our werewolf form. I'm not sure if that was the end. I believe that's the end of the quest. Yep, there we go. So there is a token form of this quest for level 11s, but the best one, obviously, the best way to do this quest is if you're at least level 45, and then there's like a level 60 version. What's really cool is since you can upgrade equipment now, I won't have to do this quest again to go get a new armor. It was one of my least favorite parts about this game in the past because if you go into your character page or whatever through the REDUX launcher, you can actually just like pay the gold to get a direct upgrade of that piece of armor. And why that's so good is, number one, if it's a unique item that you literally can't get anymore, you can get a better version of it. Like, let's say you got something from an event and it's a level 20 version of that or whatever, you can actually level that up to a good level. Or like this, I spent quite a bit of time on this quest, but I'm actually able to just upgrade the equipment without doing it again. So as far as level 45, looks like we have that and that. Those are the two potential things we could use. That's 11 to 21. I don't think that's as good as the weapon that we got, honestly. And this is the ranged version of that, and that doesn't really seem like you can use the bow to focus your tranquility. That might be interesting, I guess. I'm not sure if maybe it gets a boost from the full set. Let me go check real quick. Yeah, so I looked for some information on it. I couldn't really get a straight answer, but we definitely will pick up the shield. Seems like it would probably be better than the tsunami shield. And if for some reason it's not, we could always just go pick up the tsunami shield again, because it's just in the normal shop. What does this say? Instilled with the defensive banner as the nature of breath and body, bringing forth restoration. I wonder if it actually heals you. Sometimes it's hard to actually tell, because like they put weird things in the description of a lot of things, and then it's unclear whether it actually is like a thing you can, you know what I mean? Like, it's unclear whether it actually does what it says. What should we get rid of here? Probably the Cardinal, honestly. I don't really see this being that useful. Or the Icewear Pup. What is this, level 30? Maybe. Probably get rid of the... Yeah, we'll get rid of Cardinal, honestly. And then we'll get this guy. We'll check him out. We'll check him out for sure. I thought about getting the weapon, like, to get the full set, but yeah, it probably isn't even worth it. It seems worse than what we have, but maybe we do pick it up. I don't know. I actually don't know what the stats on this thing is. I kind of forget. Yeah, I don't really think it's worth getting the weapon. So we'll get the pet, we got the shield, we got the armor, and then we'll just exit here. And we will go to the random battle so I can show off this armor a little bit. So we have an ice guy here. Not exactly what would work great with this, but basically this is the Beast's Cunning. So it looks just like Iatsu or whatever. As you can see, you kind of put your weapon back there, which is kind of cool. And then the stacks of focus are down here, like the tranquility charges, I guess, is what it refers to it. So we're going to throw this on here. Let me throw on the water shield as well. What do we get? We get 56%. So that is slightly better. I believe my prior thing was 59%, I believe, with the tsunami set, like just the regular armor. And that's definitely better. So definitely better defense. Honestly, I'll take more damage because it has an offensive lean, but I like the offensive lean anyway. So, all right, let's put on the ice shield here. We have our fire weapon there. We're going to start the battle, and I'll kind of show you. I'll actually put something else on here. I'll put the fire vamp dragon. And then Kindred Strike. So, yeah, you can spend up to 200 charges. We'll focus here. Now, see, we actually got about 40, about 39.5. So we'll basically just actually I'm gonna try to show off the full hit, basically the full 200 charges. The only potential problem is I'm not sure like how much of an increased accuracy. Now we have this weapon on right now, so it should help a little bit. But you can miss, I believe. I don't think it's like 100% to hit. So you could, in theory, charge up a ton of stacks and then just completely miss. And I think they still are consumed. I don't think you get them back or anything. So it can be a little bit of a gamble, but it's a gamble that pays off oftentimes. So let me show you the Kindred Strike. And as you just saw, absolutely crazy, absolutely insane. Just crazy amounts of damage to the point where it doesn't even feel fair sometimes. So yeah, we just did like 1,000 damage. Granted, that guy did have a 200% weakness or like 200% damage, so I was doing double. In the typical situation, that would have done like a little bit over, like it would have done like 500 something probably. In that case, it did like 1,000. Typically, you're probably not going to do that much damage. But yeah, so if you go into the combat practice guy here, let me actually see if this old trick still works or not. Yeah, so we still have the stacks here. So if we go and put on, I guess like it doesn't really matter. We're just kind of stacking stuff here. I want to see if this still works, because if it does, it's funny as hell. So let me just focus here. We have 76. We'll just focus a couple more times. We won't get an actual fully stacked, maybe. Actually, we will. Why not? We might as well. You know, we're already here, boys. We're already here. Might as well get the 200 stacks. We'll just use it one more time. Might not be fully stacked, but yeah, that's good with me. Okay, so we're gonna flee the battle now. Cost 0 SP to flee that battle. And then we're gonna jump into a battle here. We got the troll, and he's weak to wind, energy, and light. So let's throw on our wind weapon here, or our light weapon rather. Let me put on this right here, and let me start the battle. And let me see if I can one-shot this guy. I believe maybe that's possible. Oh, and I used my special attack. Now, yeah, so regardless of whether you use your special or not, you saw that I used my special attack there and it did an insane amount of damage. It still does it. So, yeah, it still pretty much killed him in one turn. Pretty insane. Looking forward to using this set, maybe trying to cheese some stuff with it. Definitely going to be really useful for some boss fights and stuff that's going to be pretty challenging. So thanks for tuning in. Really cool armor set. Definitely pick it up if you're an offensive-leaning character. And until next time, guys, peace out.